Hello everyone, my name is Amelia Mertika. My study number ID is 63250941. And right now, I want to talk about one of my bad habits in learning English and how I try to improve it. Let's go to the video. So first, my biggest problem in English is grammar and pronunciation. Sometimes I feel confused about which grammar I should use and how to pronounce words correctly. I often know what I want to say, but I don't know the correct structure or pronunciation. Because of this, I used to feel nervous when speaking English. I was afraid of making mistakes or saying something incorrectly. I also used to speak too softly because I lacked confidence. But slowly, I realized that improving English takes time and practice. However, instead of forcing myself to speak perfectly from the start, I changed my approach. I started learning English in a more relaxed way by reading ebooks and watching movies. The first ebook or electronic book I read was Every Word You Cannot Say by Lynn Thomas. That book taught me that it's okay to not have all the answers and that words don't have to be perfect to be meaningful. And currently I'm reading The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down by Haemin Sunim. It helps me understand that learning, including learning English, doesn't have to be rushed. Besides reading, I also watch movies in English. I don't force myself to understand every single word. I just listen, enjoy the story, and pick up new phrases naturally. From this experience, I learned that grammar and pronunciation are still important, but consistently and enjoyment matter more. Now I feel more confident than before. My English is still not perfect, but I believe that small habits like reading a few pages every day or watching one movie a week will help me improve little by little. I also learned that mistakes are part of the process, and confidence grows when we stop being afraid of being wrong. Thank you for listening, and let's go enjoy to the part 2. This is part 2. So, have you ever tried to explain why something is better than something else? Or maybe talk about the best thing you ever experienced it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to discuss right now. Making comparison in English, not only the grammar rules, but also how we actually use them in everyday conversation. First is comparative. We use comparative when we compare two things only usually. Comparative shows which one is better, bigger, faster, or simply different from the other one. For short adjectives, we usually add er, but for longer adjective, we use more. For example, instead of saying expensive, we say more expensive. The examples in this slide show that comparative are not only used for object, but also for feelings and actions, like feeling better or run faster. Actually, comparatives are very common in daily conversation because people compare things all the time. Next is superlative. Superlative is different from comparative because here we compare one thing with a group, not just two things. It is used to show the highest or lowest level. For example, if we say the shortest in the family, it means nobody else in the family is shorter. And when we say the most delicious cake, it means that cake is considered the best compared to the others. So basically, superlative help us emphasize something and make our meaning stronger. Besides comparative and superlative, there are also other comparison expressions. These expressions help our sentence sound more natural and not repetitive. For example, as is used when two things are equal. Meanwhile, the more shows a connection between two situations. For example, the more we practice English, the more confident we become. And more means something continues to increase over time. In this slide, we can also see the sentence pattern for comparison. There are positive, negative, and interrogative forms. So, comparison are flexible because they can be used in many kinds of sentence, not only statement. In this slide, explain the grammar rules. Some adjectives have regular form, but some have irregular, like good becomes better and the best. So, not all words follow the same pattern, and that's why some forms need to be memorized. And lastly, there are some extra notes. For example, less is the opposite of more. We can also add words like much or a lot before comparative to make the meaning stronger. For example, much faster sounds stronger than just faster. From this material, we can understand that comparisons are very important in English because they help us describe differences, similarities, and changes more clearly. That's all from me. Thank you for listening and see you on the next project. Bye-bye!